everybody. So my name is John from Dillon Productions, as my colleague James. We're here to talk this morning about bringing your training to life online. So we're a video production company. We specialise in e-learning and the production of e-learning courses. We work extensively in the medical sector in Ireland. So we're going to start. So for the next hour and a half, I won't bore you to death. So a quick introduction. We'll talk a little bit about traditional e-learning and what that looks like. Some examples of the courses that we build and the techniques that we use. We have a case study to share with you, which James will talk about. Talk about some of the trends and some of the conclusions. We are a production company, so we're going to show you some video because that's what we do. Okay? So traditional e-learning, and it sort of looks like this. It's text heavy, it's very passive. You really have not much. You have a couple of minutes really to engage the learner when it's in this format, and it's been around a long time. It doesn't really work. Let's play you a video now. It gives some examples and techniques of what we do. So let's play that.
Hello and welcome to this online training program.
The influence of our television background greatly enhances the user's experience. Dillon Productions will take the client brief and, with the instructional designers and our creative team, deliver high-end, visually rich e-learning content. E-learning courses produced for the sector include HR induction, general health and safety, control of contractors, fire evacuation from hospital, data protection, IT security, freedom of information, foundations in management in conjunction with IBEC, and a series of bespoke training courses. Our course design is unique as we utilize a highly engaging combination of in-vision presenter, video scenarios, expert interviews, engaging graphics, animations, interactivity, voiceover and soundtracks. We have produced over 400 hours of e-learning content on a diverse range of topics from health and safety, medical, compliance, IT security to behavioral safety.
I'm going to hand you over to James now, who's going to take you through some of the techniques that we use.
Hello, I'm James. So the talk is bringing training to life. So my background is television production, and we've been in the e-learning space for over 10 years. But I still see things quite visually, and initially we obviously brought a lot of techniques that you'd see every day on TV, so expert interviews, role plays, demonstrations, case studies, and so on and so forth. Now, we worked with Royal College of Surgeons, and they did a lot of studies after the production of patient safety, which was done in conjunction with the Royal College of Surgeons and College of Physicians. And they found that by each screen not being obvious what's coming up next, that it isn't structured in such a format that the user gets tired looking at the same style each time, that it was very beneficial to the learning. So we use all these techniques, and we do it for clients like, as I mentioned, College of Surgeons, Physicians. At the moment we're working with Tala Hospital on data protection, St. Patrick's Mental Health Services. We've done courses for them at the moment on everything from health and safety issues to induction of the governors, which is a bit unusual. Okay, here's the kind of programs that we've done very, very quickly. I'm not going to read them all, but you can see, you know, in ethics and O&G and so on and so forth. So because we produce the content bespoke, we can actually do a program on anything that a client has. Usually starts that the client knows what they need, they certainly know the learning outcomes. They will normally have a PowerPoint presentation, and then that's the starting point for us. And as I say, we can do it pretty much on any topic. It's often said that, yeah, e-learning is fine if it's some kind of compliance driven, so you must do this, you have to do that, because the computer, when it's checking, you can only go yes or no. Is that right or is it wrong? But we've also done some soft skill training. So the two very, very short samples that are coming up, the first one is for the Health and Safety Authority on slips, trips and falls. But you'll see the way, by the way, we've condensed everything so the training isn't actually the way it's seen, but it's just to speed up the process, which I think you probably appreciate, that, you know, otherwise we'd be here a bit longer. So we'll watch that, and immediately after that you'll see a piece from St. Pat's Mental Health Services where it's more hearts and minds. It's a journey with dignity. So this is the first one.
Can you now identify some of the hazards you saw? Click and drag the appropriate hazard onto the box on the left, and then the correct control measure onto the box on the right. Once complete, press Submit. In this instance, you were right to identify that the primary hazard was the wet floor.
Hello and welcome to this online resource for St. Patrick's University Hospital.
Jack, seriously, could you give me about 30 minutes? I'm in the middle of a report and then I'll deal with whatever it is, okay?
He's likely to come away from this experience feeling unwelcome, and he might even be somewhat reluctant to engage in the possibility of rejection again in a future communication.
I actually had a physical reaction as I watched it. I felt I was back in that place again. And I almost felt like it would take great courage for me to get to that desk, or for that fella to get to the desk. And the people were too busy to talk to him. And I felt a great sense of, I don't deserve the help. Nobody's going to listen to me, they're too busy to pay attention to me. So I immediately, in myself watching it, drew back.
Okay, so in the first case, it's slips, trips and falls. So what was the hazard? You know, what's the control measure? Straightforward, you know, to the point. In the second case, we're trying to train the entire staff, including medical staff and non-medical staff, on a journey with dignity and how people with mental health may react to a certain situation. Now, again, it's condensed quite a lot, but we finish, after the expert comes in, we finish with a former service user. So she's given her opinion of how that would feel to her. And so, you know, it doesn't always have to be a compliance type yes and no. The other thing somebody asked me at the stand was, how do we stop people just clicking next, so that a text screen comes up next, another text screen next, and they hope that they can answer the questions at the end because they're already familiar with the subject matter. When you're using an audio track, you can force the user to go through every slide for the duration of the audio. So that eliminates that particular issue. So let's move on, John. Okay, so we have a little case study on CISM, which is Critical Stress Incident Management, which we've done for FEC, which is the Pre-Hospital Emergency Care Council. They had 3,500 paramedics to train, and another group, another cohort. So we're just going to show, again, a little short sample of that, because I know we're conscious of time. But the other thing, I have a prop here. So this is the way they were trained originally. So this was the handbook, as it were. So it was quite effective, but compared to a complete online experience, backed up by another prop, which we developed an app So you could get the particular pieces that you want in bite-sized chunks on the app. This, John will touch on later on if we haven't run out of time, is the way a lot of people like to consume training, when they want it, where they want it. So content can be delivered, can be structured in the main course, and then on completion of the course, if it's compliance driven or otherwise, you can then move it into the app and take it in bite-sized chunks. So let's play this little clip here.
Stress is a state of physical and mental arousal and is a normal and necessary part of our lives. It helps you make choices, develop plans, change your behaviors, and begin new activities. Reactions to stress may vary from person to person, and not all signs of stress appear in each. There are, however, some common signs of stress which are experienced in response to varying levels of stress. These can be categorized in 4 different indicators. Signs associated with most stress reactions, signs associated with moderate levels of stress, signs associated with prolonged or excessive levels of stress, and stress reactions at their worst. The stress on personal relationships can be very considerable. This was a key finding of the National Research Study.
One particular question was in regard to the impact on the relationship and the impact on the family, and a large percentage of them said it did have a significant impact on their family. This was mainly in regard to heightened emotion coming home after particularly difficult incidents, irritability, and also an added tension within the relationship.
Another important finding is the cumulative impact of stress from repeated critical incidents.
You know, many years ago, we'd only go to a doctor if you were sick. Now we go to doctors to try to help us stay healthy.
Okay, John.
Well, it's the same thing with the psychological industry.
I'm conscious of the time, but that particular speaker here is the expert. He's written the book, he came up with the concept, he's from the States. So classroom training, you're not going to get that caliber of person into the classroom normally. So again, it's an advantage that e-learning has, but you've got to bring it to life. I mean, e-learning that's just text-based doesn't always achieve its objectives. I'll let John finish up now because I think we've about 2 minutes to go. Thank you. By the way, we're on stand 112 if you want to talk or have a look at any of the apps or any of the other things.
So 2 more slides to go. Just to talk to you about some of the trends that are well known. With respect to video, if it's just video on its own, it can be very passive, okay? So you want to make it interactive, and you want to use techniques like in-vision presenters, drag and drops, case studies and role plays, especially in learning environments. Personalize, so that's what we do. We personalize it for the organization. So it's branded, it's their buildings, their facilities, their employees. So you get buy-in immediately from the learner. Very, very important that it's not something that's off the shelf because you get less and less engagement. Behavioural based is becoming very popular. So the use within critical incident stress management is one example where paramedics, for example, get to do this not only peer-to-peer, but get to actually see it and think about it, and the learning is very important. So the role plays with that. Most e-learning sits on a learning management system, and what will happen in organisations is they'll go out and spend a fortune on a learning management system and then have no content to put up on it. So that's something just to think about. There's lots of different ones out there, and it's all about the content really and what goes up on that system. And you just want to watch out for your hidden costs. So research on that's very important, and there's loads of information out there. And it really needs to be based on your needs. So some of the other things that are happening, mobile learning, which we're involved in, it's multi-device. It needs to adapt to the device as well. So it needs to be produced so that the actual content is adapting to the screen, whether that's an Android, an iOS, or an iPad. Micro-learning, this is a shift to small, bite-sized learning, on-the-go, performance support tools. We do that for the paramedics on an app. And then Other things like VR and AR is an area that we're getting requests for now, and gamification within e-learning. It lends itself to health and safety, but it also lends itself to hazardous areas and medical areas as well. So just to conclude, video as a powerful training room, so it's not easy to create, and the magic happens with the editors, and there's lots of different steps involved, but you really want to take your scripts and your story, your PowerPoints and your workbooks and bring it through a stage in the process. You need to, I suppose, do engage with somebody that's professional in production, and look for credentials and look for proof of past projects. Partner with somebody that knows how to create scripts, okay? Because that's a real pain point for organisations, and they don't go any further because they think they need to get every minutiae of detail into the training. That's not the case. So talk to somebody that knows how to get you over that first hurdle. Be clear on your learning outcomes, and do use subject matter experts. We bring subject matter experts to the table for companies. We also engage with companies that have their own subject matter experts. And then finally, you want to source a practical learning management solution that works for your business. As James said, we're on stand 112 if you want to come and talk to us. Thanks for your attention, and if you have any questions, I don't know if we have time for that. Thank you.